Welcome to the Fan Zone show, guys, for another Monday. No, it is not Phil. And make sure to subscribe and like and share this video. We're going to get into it tonight, all about Russell Martin. We've heard that there's been rumours about a certain manager being sacked and Russell Martin coming in for the championship season. Comment your views, get your comments in, and we'll catch you straight after the intro. Let's go.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
So yes, make sure to subscribe to Leicester Fan TV on all the socials and get your views and comments in. And also, as it shows on the screen, thanks to our sponsors, Pucker, you can win a season's worth of pies, thanks to Pucker, if you get the correct goal from Vardy and the game, obviously. It's a very, very recognisable game, recognisable goal, one of his best goals, if I don't say so myself. But get your views in, get your comments in, and we'll get straight in to the show. So let's get a few comments in to start off with. Andy Downing, how are you doing, mate? Appreciate you coming in. Mary, appreciate you coming in as well. Richie, good evening, Reedy. I don't want Russell Martin to manage Leicester Fan TV, Leicester City. Give Rudy a chance to get it right next season. From all accounts, it looks like it won't be him either way. I honestly do feel like it will be a Ruud van Nistelrooy sacking in the next couple of days, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure, but it's what it is. Let's get a few more comments in. Tony says Ruud van Nistelrooy team selection were horrendous. A team selected not to win becoming a bad habit. I don't know, you know. I think there was a lot of reasons why he did put a team out like he did yesterday. Maybe he didn't want to get Elkanous injured because he's selling him. And Reedy, maybe he's not getting injured because he's selling him. The team selection yesterday was a very, very weird one to say that it was the last game of the season. A lot of the youngsters were there on the bench. I wasn't happy with the team selection. I'll tell you that now. But I don't know. It's just an end of season team, isn't it? Shows you that we don't really need to put our full team out to try and win because it doesn't really matter, does it? Mark says might as well stick with Ruud if we're getting Martin. In my opinion, I think it's a poor appointment. See, there's a lot of fans talking about Russell Martin right now, and that's why I wanted to put the show out today. Obviously, Phil's not here. He is taking the week off, so I am going to do the show for him. But again, Russell Martin is a big topic at the moment because the one thing I will say about Russell Martin is he, in my opinion, is near enough, probably even more extreme than someone like Enzo Maresca. And I know a lot of fans didn't enjoy the Maresca style of football. I know that he wasn't people's favourite when it came to how he played and whatnot. But Martin in the Championship got a team up. He got Southampton up through the playoffs as well, which is probably even harder than getting up in the automatics. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe he's the right option for the Championship. But if people are looking forward, with it, which a lot of people are, if people are looking forward to the Premier League already, for me, there's no reason to do that. You've got to get to the Premier League first. That's your first priority, and your only priority is next season. Like it was 2 years ago when we came up from the Championship. We just needed to come back up no matter what or who it was. Enzo did his job. I think if Martin comes in, I think he probably would do a job, depending on point deductions and all that. I do think Martin would be the answer. And I'm not saying that's what we're talking about on Less Fan TV today. It's just a question: is Russell Martin the answer? A lot of people will disagree. Like Craig here, Craig Gilbert says Martin is not the answer, which again is very, very opinionated, and it's just what you feel. Again, Andy Downing here says Martin is a backward step. In people's opinion, is that a backward step to Ruud van Nistelrooy? I'd say no. I'd say is it about the same? Probably, and that's why I'd probably go. If you're going for Martin, you might as well stick with Ruud. But again, people are going to not want to stick with Ruud. So what are you going to do? Aggie here says, do you didn't miss much yesterday, Reedy? It was awful. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go. The moment I saw that team selection an hour and 15 minutes before, I'm glad I didn't go. I could have turned the TV off the moment the game finished, and I can get in bed. I can do what I want before I get in bed, don't I? But instead of driving 3.5, 4 hours back, it was just mental. Gary here, Gary Wright says, Russell Martin, we are going backwards. Again, Russell Martin, is he backwards to Ruud van Nistelrooy? Probably not. I'd say he's like an Enzo Maresca style where he's not got too much on his CV. Yes, he managed Swansea and MK Dons, which he wasn't great at, but then he went to Southampton and done pretty well in the Championship, which again is the aim next season, is to get the Championship and get back up. I don't think you can look at his record in the Prem and think we can't go for him. We've got to look at the Championship. We really have. Lewis Harding says rather keep Ruud than have helmet Russell Martin. I get people's point of it, but again, put your views in. It's all opinionated and what people want. Again, I would much prefer a Ruud or a Martin over Deitch. For me, Deitch is going nowhere near my squad, nowhere near my club. I'd rather I don't know. I'm trying to think who I'd rather have. I'd rather have Frank Lampard, which again, people would be like, that's good, but I would not. I would really not. Again, Frank Lampard is in a job right now, so obviously I'm not talking about him, but someone like him. Team selection was crap, says Michael. Yep, it was. Yeah, yesterday was awful. Hugo Bob says, I honestly think Top has lost the plot. There's a lot of discussion to be everywhere at the moment. Like Richie Collins says, Leicester City board needs to get out the club. Will it change? I do not think so, but it is. Mary says if Ruud stays, we go to the League One next season. I don't think it'd be as bad as that if he did stay. And again, he could still stay. We just heard rumours that Ruud's going to be sat before the end of the season, at the end of the season, which is now. So could be the next few days, could be whenever. But we've heard that Martin is the next manager to be in charge at the moment. Right, a big long one. Come on, Adam. Let's see what you got to say. We have to start backing managers as fans as a club. No way Ruud joins us knowing he only has 3 million to spend. Martin will be okay, I think. We have hopefully learnt from Southampton. But us fans have to back him. We moaned at Enzo when Enzo was top. Moaned at Rodgers when we won the FA Cup in 5th. Moaned at when Cooper was 15th. We need to give him time if he is the man. And I would agree. Whoever the manager is, and I probably sound like a bit of a hypocrite in saying whoever the manager is, you've got to back him. Because I didn't back Cooper, even from the start, but it wasn't the Forest connection. It was more down to his style of football. When you watched a whole season of Enzo Maresca, and then you go into the complete opposite, that's why I didn't back him. Because for me, the club really took a backward step in my eyes at that point. But I do agree, whoever the manager is next season, we can't be moaning, we can't be saying he's still crap, even if he's winning games or whatnot. Again, Ruud van Nistelrooy I still think wouldn't be that bad of an option for the Championship. But for me, the next best thing with what the club seems to be aiming around is possession-based football. And again, I know a lot of people don't like it. Possession-based football is where the club looks like they want to start moving to, or has been the last couple of years. The end of Rodgers' era, where he was starting to play more passing style. Enzo Maresca, passing style of football. Again, Cooper, I think, was an anomaly in a way of saying that he came in to try and keep us up, but in turn, a lot of players didn't like the way he played, and that's another reason why we might be going with someone like Martin instead of someone else. But you've got to back them. You've got to back them. A1 Hardy says there's no point having Russell Martin. Tell us why. We want to know why. I'm not advocating for him. I'm not saying he is the man. I'm just saying, is he the answer? Because it seems to be the answer at the moment going forward for the club. Ian Garrett says, which we could get Sean Dyche. Nah, I'm sorry. I'd rather have Martin, even if it meant it was worse. I'd say it's better football, but Sean Dyche, again, he might not even get you out of the Championship. The last time he got a Championship team up into the Premier League was before we won the league over, 10 years ago now, is it? Yeah, 10 years ago this season, I think. So I would disagree. Aggie says, I'd rather have Martin over the Sheffield Wednesday manager. I remember people never wanted Ranieri. Again, this is the thing. People have their opinions over Martin because of his passing style of play and how bad he's done in the Premier League this season, which is understandable. Ruud van Nistelrooy's had an awful Premier League season. But for me, and I've been talking to Jake in the office, and I've been saying to him, it's not about looking now while we're just coming down to already looking, let's just find someone for the Premier League. It's not that aim. The aim is to get back up first. And if it is with Martin and he takes us back up, people are saying, but he can't do it in the Premier League. I agree. But there's not that many managers out there that can guarantee, well, not guarantee, because nothing's guaranteed, but who's proven that he can be Premier League Championship winners quality and to stay in the Premier League quality. You probably say someone like Sean Dyche is, but then I'd say yes, he's probably done it in the Premier League more recently, but in the Championship, no. I would say there's every chance you don't come straight back up with him. I'd say I've got more faith in someone like Martin, but this is my take, and again, I'm going to get more comments up and see what people think. Stephen says Martin would be another Rudkin puppet. I think every single person in the club's a Rudkin puppet right now. Adam says Ruud won't get us out of the Championship. Martin has a bit more know-how. Again, another reason for wanting to keep him, wanting to get him. Jack says whoever it is, it's got to get behind him. I agree. Christopher Gutteridge says Southampton will be the team to watch next year under Will Still. That's a step forward. It is a step forward. That is the one manager I would have very much advocated for. Again, we did it. I think we did it when we sacked Cooper and said, who's the next manager? I think he was in the running. I would have took him. He's an up-and-coming manager who isn't always possession-based, but he has styles of play that really do impact games. And you're right. I do feel like someone like Southampton now will be a force next season, which, again, they probably will be anyway because they were near the top last season. But it is what it is. Gary Wright says, whoever comes in, we have no transfer kitty and point deduction. I agree. We could be bottom of the league because we would have had a 20-point point deduction. But right now, until it's confirmed, all we've got to talk about is what happens next season. The manager, who is in charge. Terence, welcome, mate. How are we doing? How was Bournemouth? I saw you were down there for, was it the weekend? Hope you enjoyed that. I think you're going to somewhere else next week, isn't it? Or this weekend? Next weekend, sorry. So enjoy that. But I hope you missed me on the bus, or you didn't go there because you're down there already. But hopefully you enjoyed the game. Otherwise, it was absolutely shocking performance. Mary says Russell Martin has no more experience than Ruud. I agree. I'd say he's probably about equal on it. With Enzo Maresca as well. Yes, obviously Enzo Maresca went to Chelsea and he's obviously he's in the Champions League, which congrats to him. I think he was a decent manager for us, so why not? Mark says Liam Rosiner would be a good shout. Yeah, I think he's at Strasbourg, isn't he? I think he's done very well in the league this season for Strasbourg. And they, I think, maybe got Champions League. I'm not certain, but there's a chance. Andy Downing says we need a manager to sort the players out. Someone like Sean Dyche. Again, if you want that sort of manager, fair enough. I think he probably would sort the players out, but I don't think the players will be happy about the style of play he's playing. I think if the players had an option to, if Enzo Maresca got sacked straight away and he didn't get Champions League and he got sacked, I think most of the players were like, yeah, bring him back because they loved him. It don't matter about how amazing the football was. I think the way he managed and directed the team, for me, was completely different level to what we've seen before. Yes, it was Championship, but he's a manager, had no shit, and if you didn't do anything you told him to, maybe so. No, Deitch, agree. Want Danny Roll again? Has he? Again, this is where the Danny Roll one. Do you really think Danny Roll is comparable to someone like Russell Martin in the fact of maybe Danny Roll might be good for a team with a better squad? Maybe so, but what level is Danny Roll on compared to Russell Martin? I'd say him, Enzo Maresca, Ruud van Nistelrooy, all four of these managers are probably near the same level because they've not had too much on their CV to prove otherwise, other than one of them's got promotion and two of them's got promotion and two of them are just stuck in the Championship. Your boy Bailey Music says, "Oh, Leicester on drugs, most likely." Alan says, "Won't get sacked until the 1st of June." Maybe so, but I think if it happens, it will be happening at some point soon in the next 3 or 4 days. Michael E says, "If we go to League One, regardless what manager you have, we could. The point deduction could be crucial. If that goes to minus 20 points, we'll be done before we even start. We could get mid-table, but it will be done before it even starts." Andy Spooner says, As much as I think Reedy has done a poor job, I get the feeling he's been shafted a bit by not giving him the funds in Jan. I agree. I do really agree. I'm not going to say that he's not the sole reason. I'm not saying that he's one of the biggest reasons why we are relegated this season, because he is. He really is. But it's not all down to him. I think he's not, like you said, he's not been given the funds in Jan. He obviously was told differently, in my opinion. He did come in and say he spoke to the board and said, "This is what you're getting," and then it comes to January and you're basically getting nothing. I get the point of it. I would also say that Reedy van Nistelrooy walked into a job that had a lot of Cooper style of players. He had the likes of Skip, who would never get into an Enzo style of play or a Reedy van Nistelrooy style of play normally in the passing sort of game. You've got AU, who has played a lot more, which I'd say that he's probably one of the better players stats wise. But I think if you're looking at someone like a Fatou or Mabadidi, you would get nowhere near that if it's a fully fledged passing style of play team. In my opinion, I think the only reason he's used AU so much is because Fatou's been injured this season. But it's my opinion. Mary says, "The whole team was crap yesterday. My husband said they all looked like they had been partying all weekend." Probably. Last game of the season. Who cares? It probably is true, though. Nathan James says, "Time for a new 5-year plan." Who's this, Nathan? Come on. Tell me what you think that 5-year plan is, because there's a lot of people looking forward to this 5-year plan. I think the Enzo Maresca signing was a couple of year plan, thinking you can get to the Premier League. You've got a couple of years to try and establish yourself, but we obviously lost him to Chelsea, and then the next best thing was Steve Cooper. So it is what it is. Patrick does say Drew jumped on a plane to Malaga straight after the game. Go and have a holiday, mate. Why not? Bookies put Leicester 7th. I think there's a lot more teams in the Championship this season that I thought would be in there. Sheffield United is one. I think they're reinforced next season because they were down there now. They couldn't get back up. There is a few. Southampton, Ipswich. Again, Sunderland went up. So there's a lot of teams that I think that could be in the running next season. Even Wrexham, even Birmingham. There's a chance that they could be running behind you. Andy Downey says, "Will Danny Roll leave Wednesday?" For a Leicester, probably. But I'll put this in point now. If you want Danny Roll, you'll be paying money for him. Like Russell Martin, like sacking Reedy van Nistelrooy. You'll be all paying money to sack him. And that is my opinion on why you probably do keep Reedy, because if he's on the same level as Martin, if Martin's on the same level as Reedy, you might as well keep Reedy, because you're not paying any money to get him out and bringing someone else in. Jane Pinsent says, we ain't got the money manager. We've got Rude to the end of the end of his contract. We can't afford to sack him or suck him. I don't think many people want to suck him right now. But no, you are right. There's a chance we sack him. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've had a lot of journalists have had rumours saying that he will be gone and Russell Martin's the next in line, but I don't know. Nick Cameron, here's a long one for you, says, I think Russell Martin would be a sensible appointment if Rude goes. I actually don't think Rude would be awful in the Championship. Very dependent on who goes. Need a striker in ASAP. Though my personal thoughts, we go after Carlton Morris at Luton. Decent striker who put a shift in and has a bit of presence at the top of the pitch. Do you know what? Morris is one of the older strikers, isn't he? I think I can remember him. He scored a few in the Premier League when Luton were in the Prem. I would agree. At the start of the point, I'd say he's a sensible appointment in the Championship. I think you want to make sure you get up, depending on point deductions and whatnot. But I agree as well. I don't think Rude would be that awful. But I don't know. Are people expecting to still try and get promoted even if we have a 15, 20 point deduction? I think it's never going to happen, but you never know. You gotta probably get 120 points to have a chance. Richie Collins, how are we doing, mate? Appreciate you coming back in. Leicester fans need to back the manager, and yeah, always positive, mate, aren't you? Always positive. Adam Compton says all available, Martin is the closest to the Enzo way. And again, I'm guessing, Adam, from what you're saying, and please put it in the comments, I'm guessing you did like the Enzo style of football. And I will say that Martin is probably more extreme than what Enzo was, so a lot of people might not like him even more. But the club, I'm not saying it's because what I want. Of course, I prefer to see this passing style of football, even if it means we play it in the Premier League and we struggle. I agree. I think that sounds ridiculous, but that's what I would think. But the club look like they want to go to that more possession style of football now in most managers that they've picked. So Martin's not that bad in my opinion. Dan Martin, are you related to Russell Martin? Hope he doesn't jump on one back. Hope he doesn't jump on one back. I'm not too sure what you're on about, Dan there, mate. Glenn Wilson, it's not all Ruud van Nistelrooy's fault. Players just haven't been good enough. I would say, yeah, players have not been good enough, but then I'd say there's, again, a lot of players that probably wouldn't get anywhere near a Ruud van Nistelrooy team if he was in a job for a couple of years and has a set squad. I don't think they'd be anywhere near it. I think if he had Fatawu, I think he would play in most games. I think if you had someone like Skip, if you had someone like Ndidi and Ricardo Pereira all season, I think he probably would have played him more. But then people have said, even when Ricardo was fit, he probably didn't play him. But I think there's certain players where if you've got an Ayew in the team, you probably don't play Ricardo because of certain reasons. Again, I'm not a manager, but you can't all be blamed on you've got players and you're not using them. But Sean Dyche is too good for Leicester City. I probably wouldn't say that, mate, but it is what it is. Jack Moore says nobody's going to want to come to a club with the dire state it's in. We should be grateful he wants to take the job. He knows the league, he has played and managed in it. Exactly, he has, and I will definitely say that I keep saying as well, there's not many managers this season, next season, that will come to us who is good enough to stay in the Premier League and will come down to the Championship. It's not going to happen. Again, the nearest you probably got is Sean Dyche, but I have not got faith in him to bring us up. And the only aim for me at the moment is to bring us up and then focus on staying up in the Premier League. But that's if it happens. But here's what it is. Aggie says, fans chanting anti-Martin. He wouldn't stand a chance at the club. The fans have already made their minds up on him. Again, it's just toxic fans, isn't it? Because, again, if Martin comes in and then wins his first 10 games of the season, they'll change their mind. Of course they will. People have their opinions the moment something happens in the door. Again, I disagree with what happens in the rooking out situation, in the fact of they make whoever's chanting it makes it feel like it's the voice of everyone in the ground. It's not. Some people will, yes, see that the board is an issue, but saying King Power out, all this crap, it's not all down to the board. There's many issues at the moment, and you can't make my voice heard by sounds like from everyone when it's not from everyone. Michael E said Dyche done brilliant at Burnley. Yes, but when was that? That was what? Before we won the league? Or keeping up in the Premier League? I get the point of it, but when was it? I think that was before we won the league, and that was a long time ago. We beat Russell Martin 4 times in the last four games. Yeah, that's the one thing I am debating because we beat him I think 13-1 or something overall, which is a very bad sign. But with our team, he could use better because I do agree. I do think that we've got a better squad than Southampton, and maybe the quality shown through on them games where Fatu got a hat trick at home. Maybe if he was in a Ruben Nistelrooy team, in a Martin team, he probably could do quite well. You never know. I'm not advocating for Martin. I'm just wanting people's opinions, and that is the main thing about this show. Leon says he doesn't want Martin. Fair enough. Daniel Harrison says F about Russell Martin. Yep, cool. Jason Gunders doesn't matter who the manager is. The club is a mess. Agreed. I think most people would agree with that. Rowe done nothing at Wednesday. Yeah, I would agree. Andy says Dyche will sort the defence out, which cost us points. But will he sort the attack out? You might want to stop the goals going in. Stop the goals being put into the net, but can he be good enough to put that ball into their net? And for me, his style of play probably won't score anywhere near as many goals as he could be probably Russell Martin, in my opinion. But it's just me. Terence says, what did Maresca have on his CV? Rubbish at Parma, coaching at Man City, worked out okay. I agree. And this is where I'm saying that someone like Russell Martin, as much as you look at his Premier League record right now, and I don't know if Terence agrees with me, the only game next season is to get back up into the Premier League. It doesn't matter about staying in the Premier League. It's about getting promotion. If you don't get promotion, there's no point even looking at the Premier League, is there? So you've got to focus on getting back to the big time before you can worry about the big time. And that is all I'm saying. I get the point of people saying there's no progression with it if you don't look to the future, but you've got to get to the big time first before you can think about the big time. And that's my motto now. Aggie says think Birmingham will do well. I agree. I really do agree. Terence agrees with Foxes. What did Foxes say? Whatever they decide with the managers, it needs to be sorted ASAP and learn from the past by getting transfer business sorted early so the manager and the team have time to gel. I agree. Probably Rudy. If they wanted to sack Rudy Van Nistelrooy, why didn't they do it a few weeks ago and get ready for the new season already? I'm not too sure. Andy Medhurst, evening, mate. How are we doing? I'm more interested in Rudkin going than Rude. That's what most people want right now. Aggie also says I'd try and get Josh Sargent from Norwich. A lot of rumours have been happening about that. Not to Leicester, but about Josh Sargent because he's been doing very well in the Championship. And I will say there's one more name which probably is nowhere near ever going to be possible, but Borja Signs from Norwich. He will probably cost an arm and a leg, but to join Norwich, from Norwich to Leicester City is an upward step, in my opinion, because Norwich just can't seem to get out of the Championship anytime soon. And he's one of I think he was top goal scorer this season, so you never know. Andy Meadows also goes and says, I can't see a manager coming in until they know the point deduction. Same as this year, isn't it? We're not going to know until we know. So Russell Martin got Southampton relegated. He actually didn't officially. Russell Martin put them in a bad spot to get relegated. He didn't get them relegated. So that's not on his CV. He didn't get a team relegated, whereas Rude has. Scott says, I have to disagree. If with PSR, I think we'll be looking to get playoffs next season. I agree. I'm not saying we're going back up. I'm just saying that if we did get back up, would it be down to Russell Martin? I don't know. And if we do get a 15 to 20 point deduction because of how much we've overspent, I would agree. We're not even going to get close to the playoffs. That's just me. Last few comments before we do finish. Michael says the board run the club for the owner. How can it not be their fault? No, I'm not saying it's not their fault. I'm not saying that the criticism on the board isn't due or allowed. I'm just saying that a lot of fans have their own opinions on the club and Rudkin and Top and all that. Flying planes over the ground saying King Power useless and all that. That's basically saying that's what every fan in the ground wants to say. It's not. Yes, there's blame on Rudkin. Yes, there's blame on Top. But right now, like even the last game of the season, Vardy's last game of the game of the season. For me, it was not about going at the board. It was about Vardy's send off, and fans had to ruin it by saying Rudkin out and all this. It wasn't the game to do it, and for me, it just needs to stop at this point because again, it's over now. Let's hopefully move on, and it might be just as bad because he's still at the club, but people have their own opinions, and that's all I'm saying. But there we go, guys. Scott, last comment of the day, says take Pearson back. He strips Deadwood quick. Yeah, probably. But I think maybe Pearson's probably a bit too outdated for us right now. Just one certain area, not one area that we're going to be talking about today. Thought of everyone affected by this evening awful event. I've not heard of anything like this. I've not heard anything about this. So again, whatever's happened, I apologise, but thoughts are with everyone in Liverpool from what we know of. I'm not too sure. We had to do the last comment. I missed Phil all the way. What about me? What have I done? What have I done? I've just got everyone's comments up today. I've tried to not miss any. And hopefully I've done my job. Appreciate you all coming on. Again, make sure to subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and all that good stuff. Let me just take this comment down. And then make sure to enter this competition. Thanks to Pucker, of course, they'll be giving away a season's worth of Pucker pies, 24 pies, to someone who guesses what goal and what game this was. On our socials. Again, we're posting them on our socials, so make sure you comment on below and comment and like and share and all that good stuff, and one of you will win a pie, just like Aggie Frith. Which, before we do finish, Aggie Frith, how many pies you got left? I'm waiting for an answer. You got to be quick before I've got to finish. Aggie Frith, how many pies have you got left? Or have you ate them all? Let me know. Come on. We're waiting. Come on. We're waiting. Gary Wright. Good job, really. Appreciate it. Phil will be back next week. But all I can do is do my job and fill in for him while he's not here. But while we're waiting for Aggie to comment, if he's still around, make sure to check us out on Thursday for the match, for the Foxes Focus show. Obviously, shows will be a bit here and there over the next couple of weeks, probably more than not at the moment, because obviously with rumours and transfers and all that coming into it. But yeah, because it's the end of the season, there might be a few on and off shows, but make sure to check out the Foxes Focus if it is on Thursday. There will be a new show. I don't know what day it is yet, but I will be hosting a new show called Foxes News or something like that. I'll let you know. Something like that. Foxes Roundup. Something like that. We'll work out the name. But Aggie Frith, you got 17 left or 17 to go. 17 left or 17 eaten. Because you've still got 17 left. You better be quick. But yeah, make sure to check out all the shows, and then obviously Jamie's show on Sunday. Appreciate you all coming on. We'll wait to see if Aggie gives us one last comment before we say bye. Hurry up, Aggie. Hurry up. See how many you got. 17 left or 17 eaten. You'll have to let us know. Right, guys, appreciate coming on. If we Aggie messages, I'll put it in the chat while the intro, the outro plays. But we'll catch you all on the next show. Appreciate you all, and we'll catch you on the next show. See you in a minute.
Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.